All right, we're on page 15 in the Unit 5 packet. It's going to help you get some of these system of equations problems set up. So first step, always read through the problem, and then we're going to define our variables. So we have Alberto and Stefan are selling pies for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy blueberry pies and blackberry pies. So it looks like we're looking for the cost of each of those items, blueberry and blackberry. So those are going to be our two variables. So I'm just going to use X, or I usually just see the first term, blueberry pie, and let's say Y, that's going to be blackberry. Now we need to create our two equations for this. So let's look at our first information piece here. We have 5 blueberry pies, 7 blackberry. We've got a total of 130. So we're going to create an equation for that. So we have 5 blueberry, so that would be 5x plus 7 blackberry, 7y, equaling 130. And then our other equation, we highlight that in blue. We have 5 blueberry, 12 blackberry, and our total is going to be 200. Okay, so our equation for that would be 4 blueberry, so 4x plus 12y is equal to 200. So for this, you can create, or you can use the, I would use elimination method. So that means you have to get the x's to be the same variable, but one is positive, one's negative, so that we can eliminate the x variables. You could also choose to eliminate the y's. I think the x's might be a little bit easier because your least common multiple between the 5 and the 4 is going to be 20. So my recommendation when you're setting this up to solve it, I would say that you're going to multiply your top equation by a 4 to make it 20. And that's all 3 terms. And you're going to multiply the bottom equation by a 5. And that would be all 3 terms as well. So that's the elimination method. And one of these needs to be negative. It doesn't matter which one, but we need one positive equation and we need one negative for 20x. I would go ahead and rewrite your equations, and once you rewrite them, you can go ahead and add them together to eliminate. And then just make sure you put your answer in terms of x comma y, and then you write it in a sentence format as well. Okay. Question 5, I'll help you get that set up. All right, so we have 2 different high schools, and it looks like we are filling buses and vans. This looks similar to our toolkit problem that we did as well. So it looks like the variables that we're going to define, let's just do x and y for this. Okay, so x, let's just say x is our vans and y is our buses, similar to what we did in our toolkit. Okay, so we're going to create our first equation for this. I'll highlight here. The first high school, we got 14 vans, 5 buses, and 437 students. And your second equation, we've got 10 vans, 4 buses, and 328 students. So I'll help you set up the first equation for that. So our first equation, 14, oops, I'm going to use the same color that I highlighted in. So 14 vans, which we said was x. We've got 5 buses, which we said was y, and we know that's equal to 437. And then I'm going to let you go ahead and write out this equation here. 15 vans, 15x, 4 buses, 4y, equaling 328. And then you're going to do the same thing for this problem. You're going to have to eliminate either the x's or you're going to eliminate the y's by making exact opposites. And then for the last question here, I am just going to make sure that you are defining the variables. We'll use the same variables. So just as long as you know here So looking at the problem, it looks like we're selling different types of tickets, so student tickets and senior. Let's just keep these consistent, and we'll do x equals number of senior tickets. And let's do y equals number of, the other type of tickets would be do we say student tickets? And then you're going to create two equations for each scenario here. Okay, I will highlight one situation in one color. So we've got 6 senior, 9 student, and we have a total price there. And our other situation, 13 senior, 2 adults. And that was, 96 for that price. 96 was that price for that day. All right, and we did question 7 together as a class. We set up the equation for question 8 as a class. So I'm going to help you set up a couple more of these as well. So here we've got Chelsea wants to take salsa dancing lessons, and the studio offers 2 plans. So the first option is paying $200 fee and 10 per lesson. Okay, and let's see, we want to know after how many lessons will the cost of the 2 options be the same. So remember, these equations are in y equals mx plus b format. So I'm going to say x equals and y equals. So x is going to be like, x is like our slope essentially in these problems. So x is going to be like our rate of change. So that's going to be, our rate of change is the number of lessons. And it looks like y is going to be our cost for this problem. So we're going to create an equation for both situations. Okay, so the first plan, let's say, and let's do an equation for plan number 1, because it says there's 2 plans that the studio offers. So the first plan, the cost is going to equal y equals, we would say 10 per lesson, 10x, plus the $200 registration fee. That's our first plan. Okay, and then our plan number 2, let's see, pay nothing up front. Okay, so zero registration fee, but it's $30 per class. So 30x plus 0, or just 30x. So now we have our 2 equations. You should be able to, therefore, since these are both equal to y, you should be able to set these equations equal to each other. Once you solve for x, you should be able to plug that back in to solve for y. So make sure you're writing your answer again for this in x comma y format, and then writing it in the context of a sentence. So what does x represent, and at what cost? All right, I'll help you get number 10 set up. So 23-hour fitness, they're not open 24 hours. Okay, we've got a monthly charge and an initiation fee. And then we have Solstice Gym charges. Okay, so we have a monthly charge for that and an initiation fee. And we want to know at how many months they'll be the same. So remember, x is like our rate of change. So that would be number of months for this one. And then that would be y, the cost for that. Okay, so we've got 23-hour gym. 23-hour gym. We've got a plan for them. Their cost is going to equal, we know $11.25 per month. So times the number of months times x, plus their initial fee of $120. And then our other equation here is Solstice Gym. So I'm going to let you write the equation for that in y equals format. So what is their cost per month plus what is their initiation fee? And then you're going to use the same substitution method. And the last one I'll give you some guidance on, at least in terms of the variables here. We've got a Pokemon Club. They're going to order from Big Caesars or Pizza My Kidney. Okay, so we have a charge for each slice and a delivery fee for both of these companies. Okay, so I would say X, because what is going to be changing for each of these is going to be the number of slices that is ordered. So number of slices. And what we're kind of trying to compare for this is the cost of both of them. Okay, so I would create an equation for Big Caesars. So we've got $5 per slice plus that $10 delivery fee. And then I would create an equation for the other pizza my kidneys. And lastly, you are going to make the assumption on this question that this is a rental for 1 day. We'll call this a 1-day rental. Oops. All right. So then the only thing that's really changing in this problem, so we can rent, one option to rent a car is we're going to pay $52 plus 23 cents per mile. Okay. And then the other option is that we're going to get unlimited mileage. So X is going to be the number of miles that are driven. And then Y is going to be our cost for this one. Okay, so we want to create an equation for each option, and I am going to help you with just at least setting up these equations. So option one option is going to be Y equals, and you will have to write this as like 0.23 or 0.23. So you're going to need to get a calculator out. 23 cents plus $52. Okay, now the second plan, the option for that is going to be, okay, they're not charging any per mile. You can drive unlimited miles, that'd be 0x, but they are charging 80 for that day. So Y equals 80. So that's a completely horizontal line, charged 80 no matter how many miles are driven. So I would, now that you know the value of Y, you can use substitution to figure out when the X and the Y are equal to each other in this equation.